two is one is none came into play today because I apparently said it incorrectly. So I've got another presentation I'm actually going to be giving about standing out in the crowd. So who here is in some type of sales or business development or something like that? Sales? Yeah, sales. Whether you like it or not, I mean, you can say, no, I'm a service provider. You're in sales. I mean, it's just the point of whether you're going out and getting a job, everybody's in sales every day. So you look at that and it's like, okay, well, how do I differentiate myself from the crowd? How do I stand out in the crowd? Because, you know, do we have any realtors in the room? Okay, financial planners, insurance people, you know, things like that. Okay, this is a little bit of a unique group. Usually, when you're out there, you've got competitors, and you think that, you know, you're the best, or you're trying to show your clients that you're the best in your field. You bring something else to the table. So the question is, how do I make sure that I stand out in that crowd? So you look at small business. You look at overcoming obstacles. It's all right, we'll do some finger. There we go. So small businesses and independent reps have many challenges, but two things the group need to determine is, you know, A, what makes you and your business stand out? You know, it may not be your business, it's different, but it may be you. You know, you bring something to the table that most people don't have, or at least that's the message you want to relay. Or maybe you do have a product or a service or something like that that is different, that is the best, you know, whether that may be. But the question is, are you translating that? And do you understand it? You know, if you're looking at, I sell a widget, and so do you, and so do you, what makes my widget better? I've got to get ready to translate that and communicate that to clients, correct? So the other one is how to present it in a way that attracts their ideal client. I see a lot of people, myself, when I first started, you know, I just wanted to talk to anybody who would listen. Oh my gosh, you got a heartbeat, listen to me. You know, and you run a lot of, you waste a lot of time, let's just put it that way, because they don't want what you got, and they're not really the ideal client for you. So you need to understand, you know, who is, or, you know, what is your ideal client. And each industry has something that may be a little bit different. You know, you're looking for groups that want to cater, for example. You know, if I'm just looking to have you know, burrito delivered to my house, no, you're going to call, you know, DoorDash or something like that. They're going to call you. So you don't want to talk to those people. You want to talk to other people. You know, when someone asks what makes you different from your competition, you need to ask yourself, are you able to answer that question confidently? Don't guess. You know, I see a lot of people when they first start a new company or new industry, they're kind of a little hesitant, or if they're not bought in to that product. If they're not bought into that solution personally, you know, if they're trying to be a barefoot shoe salesman, so to speak, you know, it's going to come across in your message. It's going to come across in that communication. Are you the best at solving their key challenge? You need to be able to articulate why. Translate that why. Don't talk up here. Have a conversation with them. I like that. Help your audience feel like you understand what their needs are with your responses. Most people, when you talk to them, if you ask them, what are your challenges, what are you trying to solve for, what are your problems, you know, those kind of things, they're going to tell you what they want you to tell them back. But a lot of us go in and we'll start talking about a product, we'll go through a presentation, we'll just start, you know, death by PowerPoint, right? Some of you are probably thinking that right now. It's really, you've got to have that conversation piece. You've got to understand what they need, and then how does my product or service translate to that meeting that need, okay? So, do you clearly describe that special things that make you their ideal choice? Why them? You know, one of the things we do is 401ks, for example. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that do 401ks for companies, for small businesses, things like that. Well, what separates us from everybody else out on the street? Well, you look at the added services that we do. One of the things that we bring to the table is we actually sit down with the employees. Anybody have a 401k? Maybe had one. You've had one, yeah. So you look at that and it's like, okay, 401k. Typically, you get your plan. You take a little quiz. You're moderately aggressive, so you pick these different strategies, and that's it. That's all the support you give. So what we do is we go in and actually sit down with each employee. Business owners love that. A lot of business owners that don't have plans, you know, hey, we'll sit down and still give each one of your employees and set you up on a pedestal. It's something that differentiates you. So you've got to determine what's going to differentiate you to your ideal client and bring that added value is really what you're looking for. Does that make sense? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Before jumping into the solution, take some time to really think about what you do well and come up with a written list. Don't wing it. You know, you've got to understand, A, what differentiates your company, B, your product, and C, you. why are you better than the next person that's going to come and talk? I mean, we're all in industries that have competitors. I don't think anybody in this room has, I've got the one thing that nobody else does, and they're out there, but they're rare. So you've got to be able to articulate that. And most people, I don't think, take the time to sit down and actually truly map it out, and map it out from a client perspective. Does that make sense? So, what do your past clients really appreciate about you? If you've been doing your business for a while or your product for a while, you need to understand, why do your clients like you? They obviously chose you. You closed with them. Why? Was it something you said? Was it your personality? Was it your looks? Was it your demeanor? I've got, we all have different kinds of personalities. I'm more of an A-type, action-oriented. I've got some people on my team that are the big R's, right? The relationship people. When I sit down with a client, I want to, and I've got to be conscious of that. I want to make sure that I'm not rushing through it, especially here in Tennessee. But I've also got, reps and advisors that they'll sit down with a client and what should have been a 1 hour meeting, they're 3 hours later, they're still chatting up about the grandkids. So, you've got to understand that about you. So, make sure why they appreciate your service. Why are your long-term clients still with you? This is going to help you determine your differentiator. If you've got clients that have been with you for 1, 2, 3 years, that you've actually been working with, not just, hey, they forgot about the service I gave them, they're still paying for it. It happens. You've got to know that and be able to relate that and share that with other clients. I've got clients that have been with me 15 years, and this is why. I want to bring that same level of service to you. Does that make sense? And then also, what was one of the nicest things that a client has ever said to you? How do you conduct your business? Using social media to share that stuff too. We've got a rep, Bobby Sorosa in New Jersey. He's a former police officer. And so what he does is, that's where his passion is. He wants to help other police officers with their finances, things like that. So every client he sits with, he takes a selfie with them. And here's another, what that does is it's like, wow, this guy's really bought into that client base, and you may have a broader scope of who you work with, but really bought into that. Seems a little cheesy when I say, I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, but it creates so much more opportunity for him, because other people see that, other like-minded people see that, and you don't know who's sharing your stuff on social media. It's like, wow, that person does what I do, and this person helped them. So they'll come to you for that added service. So 5 ways to differentiate your business. 1, narrow your target market. I see so many people that I want to cast a wide net. I want to talk to everybody. You want to focus on those 10 to 20% of the people that are actually looking for you and know where they're at, right? One of the things I do is retirement planning. I'm not talking to a bunch of 19-year-olds that work at McDonald's, right? They're 19 years old. I don't know about you. When I was 19, I wasn't worried about retirement. I was worried about who's going to buy my beer this weekend, right? Your priorities are different. So you've got to know that about your clients as well. Number 2, focus on superior customer service. I see that so much, especially with this technology that we've got. So many people are trying to, how can I get these funnels working online? I just want these clicks, somebody pay me, and I'm going to be in Bahamas while I'm making money. You see it all the time. People posing with their Ferraris and this, that, and the other. Walking around with people chasing around. I'm like, my ego, I guess, just is not that big. I don't think you guys really care about what I'm doing in my spare time, but there are a lot of people out there. There's actually a company now that you can rent a Learjet. Yeah, not to fly it, just to get some paparazzi pictures in it and pretend you're living that high life. That's a business now. So again, you want to separate yourself. Don't just talk the talk, actually walk the walk with your clients. And I'm sure most of you do, and that's going to go a long way, especially when it comes to those oh so ever valuable referrals, right? Number 3, solve a problem. Don't just sell a product, solve a problem. Now your product may actually solve a problem they have, but you need to let them articulate it, and you need to kind of show them, okay, this is how this is going to solve that for you. Because it's going to give you that value add. I'm not just selling a widget. You can do so much with this widget. That stuff you want to get off your windows, it's going to take that off. It's going to be able to feed your dog food, whatever the case may be. So what problem is it going to solve? Be known as the expert in your field. You guys have all heard the term, jack of all trades, master of none. You need to pick a segment of your industry and become really good at it. And again, working with social media, there's a lot of people out there, I'm talking to Jon now about doing some podcast stuff. I know absolutely nothing about it. Social media, is anybody on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Yeah, a couple of us, right? But hey, I'm an old dog. That's a new trick I got to learn, but I've got to learn it. So you're able to go out and share that information. I've got a blog that I do on financial services, and I send people to it all the time. And honestly, I don't write the blog. It's ghostwritten form, but I know I need to be out there. I don't have time to sit and write a blog literally every day. But I've got to be out there, and I know. So you've got to figure out ways to do that. And I do know the material though. Okay, you've got to know what you need to know in order to come across as that expert. Make it easy, make it easy to do business with you. You know, if I've got the only way I can get a hold of you is the one phone that you have, and there's no way for me to get a hold of you because you never answer it because you're always with clients or whatever else, or playing golf all the time, whatever the case may be, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. You know, so that's why you want to post information out there. You know, I've got several different ways people can reach me, all routes to my phone or via email. I've got to post it out there. Well, it makes me nervous, especially small, sole proprietors. It makes me a little nervous posting my phone out there because now, you get robocalls 24/7. It is what it is. It's part of doing business. Get an app to block those calls or whatever, but you've got to be accessible to people. Get out and do speaking engagements like this, or go out and host seminars or things like that. But you've got to be out there. You've got to be accessible to the people that you want to do business with, because everybody's looking at what does this man or lady bring to the table, right? Do they know what they're talking about? And if you start trying to BS your way through a conversation, people are going to pick up that pretty quickly. And I even ask some questions when I have people that come up to me to try to sell me certain things. I'll ask, boom, 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 and just to see how they respond, because I'm constantly trying to learn how can I improve my skill sets. So I want to see how they improve theirs. And I don't know, has anybody ever had a salesperson or something like that? You can tell they're just kind of winging it. Yeah. Did you do business with them? No. You run from them like the plague. And that's not the person you want to be. So that's really all I've got. It was kind of a quick meeting. We've got a couple of offices here. We've got an office in Franklin. We've got a local presence here in Murfreesboro as well. The young lady who works with us couldn't be here today. Her Jeep went kaput. So she's getting that fixed. But my name's Jon Cleaver. If you have any questions or I can help in any way, let me know. Thanks.